Welcome back to DG Model Works. I'm usually giving you a long video to watch, but this time I thought I'd give you a short one. Here I am working on the layout, and what I'm doing is I'm replacing all the missing ties from where I joined all my flex track and other pieces of track together. Now, I'm sure there's many ways to do this, just the same as there are many ways to lay flex track. But I thought I'd share with you how I do it, and maybe it'll help someone out. And who knows, maybe you'll give me a suggestion on a different way of doing it. Now here are the items that you will need to do this project. Either an X-Acto knife or some sort of knife, or even flush cutters. This will probably work a lot better than a knife. Some just plain old white glue. You may or may not need that. And I made up my own sanding block. I just stapled some sandpaper to a chunk of 2x3. And of course, you need your cup of extra ties that you saved whenever you cut them off to lay your track. Now find a place you want to work on your layout. I'm going to use this gap right here, and basically root through your cup or whatever you stored your extra pieces of ties on, and find something that will seem to work well in there. Okay, I found the section I'm going to use here, the piece. Now what you need to do is trim off the little nubs that held the rail onto this, and you can either use a knife or your flush cutters, depending on what works better for you. Now in this situation, the way my layout's built, you can't see from this direction. The person only sees from this direction, so I'm going to leave the little nubs on the outside section here as I slide it through. That way, you know, it looks a little bit nicer. Because we don't need to remove them anyways. Alright, now that we have the little nubs cut off, we can test fit it. And look at that, it slides right through. Now as long as it's snug, it will stay put until you ballast your track, and the ballast will then hold it in place. If it's a little on the loose side and you're concerned about it, you can always put a little bit of white glue on it, on the bottom of it, and slide it in. And that will hold it in place until you get your ballast. Now you might run into an instance where it will not slide right under. Because of the rail joiner there, it adds a little bit more material, and so the gap is a little bit smaller, and you can't get that in there. And that is where you use your sanding block. I use this to sand the bottom of the ties down a little bit. Just rub it back and forth until you can slide it underneath the rails. Alright, let's try it now. And there we go. And actually, if you have to sand some off, that means you should be able to keep it to where they fit snug, and you will not have to add any glue. I think I'm going to add one more tie in here, and we'll call that one completed. Alright, there we go. Now I have a bunch more of these to do, and I'll tell you what, this ranks right up there with about as much fun as dropping feeders for me. So that's why it's taken me so long to get to this project. Alright guys, that's all I have for this video. Now it's time for me to get back to work. I'll catch you on the next video.